Welcome to Au Jus. I'm your host, Beef Loaf. This show is being sponsored by our friends Punky's Pizza and Pasta, located at 2600 South Wallace, my personal favorite eatery in the neighborhood. They have the best selections of pizzas and pastas, as well as sandwiches and salads of any spot in Bridgeport. Currently, they have what they're calling the Pizza Happy Hour, Mondays and Tuesdays only, between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. You order a pizza from Punky's, and you get 50% off. Yes, you heard that correctly. 50% off pizzas ordered Mondays and Tuesdays between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. How in the world can you get 50% off the best pizza in Bridgeport? The Pizza Happy Hour. Hit the website, punkyspizza.com, for your carryout or delivery needs, or to cater your next party. You can also call 312-842-2100. The Scarlotta family will take care of you. Punky's Pizza and Pasta. This show is also powered by you, the 108, loyal 108 supporter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to tickle the undercarriage in the process. Like, comment, turn on notifications, and most definitely super chat, because that's how we get paid, and that's how we continue to make the content you know and love. Tonight's guest is part of the very elite West Coast contingent of White Sox. His hashtag 108 tourney voting videos are some of the most popular pieces of content created in the tournament. He's a big card collector and also still plays hoops weekly, which makes me kind of jealous. Sox Optimist, welcome back to Au Jus, my friend.
What's up, brother? Good to see you. I prefer that. I prefer that JPEG much. I'm so glad to see the last one's retired. Holy shit.
I was telling Mrs. Beef, I was telling my daughter Bonita, I was like, I can't use the ab picture, and my daughter's like, why not? I was like, he was upset last time.
It makes him uncomfortable.
Yeah. So we got the Christmas. You're not as cheery as I would expect you for Christmas. I don't know what's going on here with the little.
I need to stop taking pictures myself, dude. I don't know if there's a JPEG I will be comfortable with.
Come on now, we can get you a portrait style for next. We'll send you the mall. We'll get a portrait style for next time. I've been wanting to get you back on because we had a very good conversation last time, and 2 points from that conversation I think are carrying waves into this current season. One of them, you were kind of a big fan of Chase Meidroth when we were getting down. And this was before Chase Meidroth was even brought up, if I remember correctly. I think he was still in Charlotte at the time we had the conversation. He arrived shortly thereafter, played pretty well. I mean, and played materially a full season. The White Sox kept him down long enough to maintain an additional year of control. But as we lean into the 2026 season, there's a new kid on the block that's small and grindy and does second base shit, and that's Sam Antonacci. And so my question for you is, do you got any concerns about your guy Chase Meidroth with Sam Antonacci footsteps in the background?
I'm not going to root against Sam Antonacci. There's no concerns here. These, like you've mentioned before, this is a great problem to have. But I'll tell you this right now, and thank you for mentioning that he didn't start last year with the club.
Right.
And I guess you can effectively say a full season, but no, I am not off the Meidroth wagon. I think there is plenty, frankly, of room between where he's at and where his ceiling is.
Love it.
Let me tell you why. And I love Antonacci. I'll tell you why I love Antonacci too. But Meidroth last year, and again, his first cup of coffee in the bigs, everything that was advertised was there. He made great swing decisions. He didn't chase shit out of the zone. We knew he was going to have great plate discipline up there. Pretty versatile defender. He was a decent defender last year, but he was playing with a thumb injury the whole time, man. He made good swing decisions, did damage on practically none of it. So correct. I have to see. Now, listen, I never thought Meidroth was going to be a superstar. My ceiling for him is at a slightly above average big leaguer. I think that is still totally fucking in play. I just want to see an extended stint of good health and full opportunity for him. And I think he's going to get that because Antonacci's the shit, but he's never put on a uniform in Charlotte. So I'm pretty sure
the 40-man either. It's a little ways away from him actually joining this club. I would think so.
And I love Antonacci. I got the receipts. I've been on Antonacci for a minute. You had Laz on before this. You have Chris Gonzalez after this. I'm sure they're going to use much more concrete reasons to like or dislike a player. I prefer the intangible, which is with Antonacci for me. On this squad, there's a lot of really friendly cats. It is ranging from like fun-loving goofballs to straight up fucking choir boys in some respects. Like Miguel Vargas is a sweet man, it seems like. Yes. But Antonacci seems like a psychopath, which I think is kind of a valuable dynamic to have, particularly in a baseball locker room, particularly not in a veteran, somebody who's coming to snatch your chain if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And he's produced on every level, college, every stint he's been in the minors, he just bangs. I love everything about his profile, but I think people who are ready to sit Meidroth down or DFA him or trade him or whatever are getting way ahead of themselves. I'm still really excited to see what Meidroth's doing.
I love it. I mean, conceptually, I have a hard time envisioning a world where both of those guys are regulars on a team that's good. Now, maybe that's something I shouldn't even fucking worry about right now. Maybe as we get there, one of them will develop more power, or one of them will develop, a skill set that gets traded to another team or whatever. Maybe I shouldn't worry about, like, you can't just have both of these guys in the goddamn infield and expect to be a good team.
I'm proud of you as a White Sox fan for not assuming that one of them's going to get hit by a fucking bus or something. That's what I'm assuming. Like Lennon Sosa also sort of in that conversation, just like, let's see who's even alive 3 months from now. And like, for what it's worth, Meidroth in his profile has had injury concerns every step of the way. Like, it seems like he has a big chunk of the season out, at each stop he's been, or has been hindered by some injury otherwise. Like that's attrition. That's what happens in these cases. Like, I love Meidroth, but I'm very open to the idea that he gets bumped out for one reason or another. And I think we got time to figure out with Antonacci anyway. Yeah,
absolutely. I love that you maintain the enthusiasm, because to me, I haven't seen anything from Meidroth that should knock him out of the spot. I thought he played well enough last year. You mentioned with the hitting profile, he was injured. The defense was plus, though. Like, you were almost scared to say it. Optimist, his defensive second was plus, and he handled shortstop fine when in a pinch. And that's kind of what you need, at least one guy on the roster, other than Colson Montgomery, to be able to handle shortstop. So I think that bodes well for his chances as well.
It's tough, and he did almost play a full season and got plenty of defensive reps. I think 1,000 defensive reps plays or whatever, however you want to categorize it. But yeah, the metrics are a little tough on him. Like, outs above average says he's really good, which mostly measures range. Yeah. Defensive runs saved kind of dock him a bit because he's got a weak arm. It says he's really good on the turn, though, for double plays. I test second baseman. He looks like a totally capable.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Got Optimist freeze up a little bit there. All right, Matt's frozen up a little bit. He's a little, he's mid-pitch. It's like I think he's turning over a curveball in the pitch. There we go. All right, you're back. We caught you. You were like this, almost like you're throwing a curveball, which I kind of like. So go ahead. Go ahead. You're saying that they're tough on him. Defensive run saved, now it's above average. But
I listen. The eye test suggested that he could play a totally capable second base to me, and I think he's good on the turn too. I think that was definitive in terms of his double play capabilities. So yeah, I mean, and you mentioned we should have another person capable of playing shortstop. I totally fucking agree. We talk about another guy who needs to have an elongated stint of good health. It's Colson Montgomery. So keeping a shortstop around is pretty important still, I think.
Absolutely. Now, talking about defense, this was something we discussed last time you were on here. I was kind of a believer in the early White Sox metrics that their defense was going to be better in 2025. And coming out of the gate, it looked not as dumb. So I was kind of fooled by the early stuff that was coming out of there. You were like, you weren't sure about it. You felt those little smoke and mirrors. We get to the end of the season. Now, mind you, we talked about all this before Colson Montgomery was manning shortstop and playing well. But the White Sox still weren't very good all throughout the season. They finished 25th defensive run saves at -32, 27th in fielding run value at -39, and even 19th in defensive efficiency, which is a real simple one from Baseball Reference. Are the reasons to think the 2026 team will be a better defensive team, Optimist? Like, I want them to play better defense. Like, this is part of the whole. Yes, I know we need to bang 200 home runs. I've been a Sox fan for a long time, but I would like us to also catch the ball and help out this pitching staff that doesn't strike anyone out.
Yeah, and I would really push back on anybody who says who draws any conclusion from what Colson Montgomery just did. That's way too small of a sample size to deduce anything. I was going through his defensive metrics today, and it says that his range in the hole is really good, but again, he's just played too little there for us to know. I think he's a big guy. His footwork sort of concerns me a little bit. I do think he's eventually a third baseman, although, it might be a year or two away. Infield is what it is. I think Vargas is getting better all the time. Sox Machine was talking about how he was working on his sort of pre-pitch routine and getting better with his reactions. I think our infield, who knows what Mooney is?
Right.
I mean, he's getting third base reps. You'd think that he'd be more than capable at first base.
But who knows? Especially this quickly, like kind of learning the position. Who knows if he will?
And who the fuck is even going to play the outfield? I mean, it sounds like Acuna is going to get the run in center, has no real sort of reference for how he would man that position based on his career thus far. So like,
Yep.
I got no idea, man. Like I said, who knows how it's going to shake out in the outfield? It could be, I mean, Benintendi's going to start out there, so that spot's going to be bad. You can count on that. Austin Hayes ain't a right fielder.
No, he's not.
I don't know, Doggy. I'm not expecting too much more. I'm mostly focused on the catching position and making sure that they're both catchers.
Yes. Great call, and it may help them that the ABS system allow them to challenge some pitches and stuff, and reduce the heavy lifting on the framing for those two.
That was a huge disparity between Teal and Caro. Like Caro really needed to get his called strikes better. You only got so many challenges to fire off, so I don't know if the impact will be big or not. You got to see it in practice. But you know what, Caro, when I talk about this team having like a bunch of sweet guys on it, Caro does seem like he's got an edge to him. To that degree, if he has things to work on, I feel pretty comfortable that he's working on it.
I love it. I love to hear it. And I'm with you on this defense. It's one of the reasons why I caught some shit. I bet under 68.5 wins for the Sox this year. I feel like the defense still is not good. And Optimist, hear me out. They're still figuring out some stuff. Like I think the August and September White Sox will look like a very different team than the group that's kind of starting off here. I think they're going to figure it into like who needs to be playing more often than other guys. I think there's a lot of like out of options guys that are milling around, hanging around. So it'll take a minute, I think, before this team gets their act together in 2026. That's just my personal take. And this defense that we're talking about kind of lumps right in with that.
I have a lot of things I'm really excited about. A sudden defensive resurgence out there in the field is not something that I'm counting on whatsoever.
Fair enough.
Wait, under 68.5? Dog,
68.5. Yeah. Well, 60 wins last year, right? So that would be 8-win improvement, and I would still.
The second half was like nearly 500 ball.
But I mean, okay, Colson Montgomery's on a 50 home run pace. I mean, there was a lot of upward variance with the offense in the second half. There, it was just like, is that going to happen again? I'd love it. Don't get me wrong, but let's. I'm pumping the brakes on. Long term, I love it. Long term, I'm very positive. This next 6 months, I think I'm just not as positive as other people.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to think watching this conversation that we're not high on Colton Montgomery. I am
correct. We absolutely are. Yeah, no, there's no question. Now, this offseason kind of started out with Chris Getz splashing the pot, if you will, and getting Munetaka Murakami. And later in the offseason, he trades Luis Robert Jr. So, in my opinion, for better or worse, he kind of flipped the guy out for another guy. Now, it was not direct. Obviously, there was, they Mets ate the money. There was some players that were bought for Robert. But do you like the direction that the roster's going in by doing this sort of thing? Or are you someone that would have wanted to see Luis Robert for 4 more months at least in a White Sox uniform?
No. I was instantly thumbs up on the Luis Robert deal. The guy has not taken the field for us in 2 fucking years, it feels like. And when he does, it's this. I mean, we don't need to relitigate it. We all saw it.
Yep.
And I love Luis Robert. I think he's going to have an awesome year. I hope he has an awesome year. That would be awesome. I would feel great about that if that happened. But, I didn't think we were going to do anything this offseason. I thought we were going to make moves like Sean Newcomb and Anthony Kay and stuff like that, mostly because there were so many question marks still out there. But one of the spots where there wasn't a question mark, somebody had to step up and fill the spot, was first base. And we went and stole one of the coolest names off the fucking market. Now, we have no idea if he's good or bad. Like, black and white. He could be good or bad. I'm totally open to the prospect of either. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting much. And this comes with the disclaimer that I'm like uncommonly patient. I didn't think there needed to be moves made because there's still dudes where we need to figure out what they are all over the field. So yeah, in that respect, like the fact that we added an exciting name out of nowhere that we didn't think we were going to have any conversation about, like, hell yeah, I think the offseason was awesome. And I love Luis Robert. I would have been doing this same deal that got done. Acuna was Acuna and something else, right?
Yeah, there was a pitcher that they drafted in the 12th. The Mets had drafted in the 12th round from an Ivy League school. I forget the name of the guy. Something Pauly, I believe. If
you would have asked me every day for the last 16 months would I do that deal, it would have been yes every single day. So yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with how it all went down, and I am under no disillusion that Luis Robert was going to get us anything more out there, unless by some miracle he came out and banged and stayed healthy for us, which is like, what's your reference point for that happening?
Right? It's way in the rear view anytime that's occurred.
Silly.
I like you mentioning your level of patience. I feel like I was in the same boat coming in this offseason to where a lot of people were like, just go start buying free agents, start spending money. And I agree with you. There are a lot of guys you need to figure out who they are, what their role is going to be on this roster here. And so I was surprised when they did as much as they did this offseason. A lot of the national media, was throwing bouquets at Chris Getz's feet for this offseason. Sox Twitter's a little more ornery, and they were kind of lukewarm about it. Where do you stand about their offseason in total, Optimist?
Only in this moment am I realizing how ironic that is, because when do we ever get national media attention that's positive? And it's the one moment that the fans are like, no, you're wrong. This is all.
We had Jeff Passan on a one-way podcast, and afterwards, people are like, oh, Jeff's way too positive about the White Sox. We're like, what's going on here?
I love that, by the way. That was an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not over the moon about it. I don't know. Pun intended, I guess. Pun not intended. But I mean, it depends what Mune is, I guess. Right. It feels like that's what they're mostly reacting to. There was no other big splash. We kind of just worked around the margins like we always do, like we should have been doing.
Right.
So maybe the Mune thing just drew extra spotlight. Yeah. Maybe other teams didn't shine in the same way. I mean, you could talk about Baltimore getting Alonso. You could talk about there was all sorts of free agent movement. So yeah, I do think it's overstated, but I think we had a perfectly successful and surprising offseason too. Can you fall in the middle, or do you have to pick one side?
No, I think you could fall in the middle. I think when you look at it, you almost look like they took one upside shot with Mune, which turned into an upside shot. He was a guy who was thought to be going to get $100 million. His market collapses completely. Then you end up being there, like kind of in position to catch the guy with the collapsed market. Other than that, I mean, they went out and bought Sean Newcomb. They went out and bought Austin Hayes. They went out and bought Sir Anthony Dominguez. They bought insurance for a young team is what they bought. Like we were talking about the outfield. You were mentioning, we don't know who the fuck's going to be in this outfield eventually. I was calling it outfield chaos, and I told Tracy, they bought Austin Hayes in case all these guys stink in spring training. They'll have one guy to think, okay, he's a real outfielder. We can actually put him out there. And with the bullpen guys, it seems like they freed up Grant Taylor and Jordan Leisure to not be married to ninth inning roles or specific roles, and they could just kind of use them when they're best suited. So it felt like a buying insurance offseason to me. So like it's fun that they did stuff, but I don't know if like an A for the offseason feels right. I just don't think that's the case.
There's no reason for an A. There's no reason to feel like it was a total disappointment either, unless you had totally divorced from reality expectations about where we are in this moment as a roster. I am super excited about this bullpen. It might be what I'm most excited about in terms of the roster. I think they're like, based on who's in there now, the guys we signed, the guys who need to prove that they can stick, and the guys that are right on the precipice of being like major league starters. There's no rotation spots for them. Guys coming back from injury, shit like that. There are like so many talented arms. I think we could have like a legitimately good bullpen.
I don't disagree. There's a lot of arm talent. We'll see how it ends up shaking out there. Now, with regards to arm talent in the starting rotation, so far it looks like they're pretty much set. Like they almost built the rotation with no real competition, even though they told a bunch of guys that they would be competing for roles. It looks like Shane Smith and Davis Martin and Anthony Kay and Eric Fetty and Sean Burke more than likely. There's a bunch of young arms behind this, though. What do you think this rotation looks like on August 4th? We got the trade deadline August 3rd. August 4th. Do you think it is this group, or you think it's a lot of the youth being infused in?
No, I think it's a totally different group. And you just reminded me too that they told Vassell that he'd be a starter. Why did they do that? Like you don't even need to do that.
No, and there was almost no chance he's going to get in there either. He's not going to elbow. They went out and signed Eric Fetty like 4 minutes after they told him that. Too. It was like, what the fuck? They took his spot immediately. Like,
I need somebody to go back to Mike Vassell. Be like, you still think you're starting? Because I bet he's just like, yeah, that's what they told me, man. Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
No, I think it is a totally different group. Tanner McDougal, I can't fucking wait till he gets his shot. I didn't realize he was such a personality too. Starting rotation, these guys are extremely likable. I thought about more or less your question, just like who of these guys could be non-factors in 6 months or whatever. And I was really happy to hear Chuck say that Davis Martin was kind of the leader amongst this group, like the spiritual leader.
Yeah.
Makes it seem like he's going to stick around no matter what, which is great because I still think he's getting better. I mean, he was hitting like 98 in the second half last year. He
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, he clicked. He found something that clicked. So I'm excited for all of them, but I'm just as ready for a rotation that doesn't have Sean Burke, that doesn't have. I mean, Jonathan Cannon has kind of already got his way pushed out.
Yeah.
I mean, Fetty, I'm not expecting shit. But there are too many names I'm excited about. Too many names that I think are right on the precipice of being a major league starter to be concerned about any of these guys not being starters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an exciting position to be in because, you know, if these guys perform great, if they don't, you have men right behind them, kind of almost ready to go and almost ready to put into the spot. And so if a little injury happens, something small, we're going to get a taste of some of these guys pretty quick. And like you mentioned, Tanner McDougal, he's on the 40-man. So they're right there. I mean, they're probably going to be in Charlotte, probably going to be the first arm called up, you know, if there's
dude, David Sandman's another dude I'm extremely excited for.
Yep.
He could bang. He could be Shane Smith. Oh, and speaking of, right now is a great moment to, you know, we don't want to give me flowers for the defensive thing, but then also not mention that I wanted to trade Shade Smith last year while he was pitching well. Oops, my bad. That would fuck things up if we didn't have him right now.
I think there's still some people on Sox Twitter who think eventually when this thing gets turned over and that he might be a guy who gets traded. But yeah, he looks like the race. I mean, he looked all a bit of a horse, especially down the stretch. It was like, oh, you got the dead arm period. What's going to happen now? And he looked great down the end. So like he regathered himself.
Shocking, man. He pulled out some inner Verlander and was still pumping at 97 in September. That was wild. I had no idea that was coming. Mea culpa to Shane and his beautiful family that's on Twitter, just in case they're watching. I didn't want to trade you because I didn't love you and appreciate you. I just didn't know you had the dog in you like that. That's all.
Absolutely does. Now, I mentioned it a little earlier. The White Sox roster has a bunch of fringy guys that are out of options. I mean, even some of the guys they traded for, you know, we were just talking about Acuna. There's another guy who's out of options. This is how they get these guys sometimes. You know, who's your guy to make the team that you'd like to see get in here? Who's in one of those DFA or bust spots?
I don't give a shit about any of them. They can all suck. It is as long as one emerges. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want them all to suck.
From the pile. You want someone from the pile to pop up on this.
I could give a shit who it is, though. No worries at all. If it's Pereira, if it's Dustin Harris, if it's Derek Thrill Hill, if it's Greg Jones comes back and wins a job, I could care less. It doesn't matter to me at all. What I do like, and you had got me on this train, actually, this cat. It's not Alexander Albertus, because I think that's the guy we got from the Dodgers, but it's the guy whose name is almost identical.
Oh, yeah, the big guy, the 6'8",
6'8",
guy.
Yeah,
that guy, yes. I
forget
that guy's full name.
I mean, he's on the 40-man.
He's a Rule 5. Yeah, they brought him in as a Rule 5 guy.
So he's either making it or he's got to go.
Or he gets shipped back. Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. So yeah,
I'm very into the idea that this guy who never pitched above A ball somehow finds, like, in the way that I want some of these guys to work out, but I don't care who. He is one guy I'm sort of rooting for, just because I think the scenario is kind of bizarre. It's a coincidence that he's never played minors higher than the other guy whose name is identical to him. They were both A-ball guys.
The guy's knee blew out. Yeah, Alexander Alberto is this guy, the 6'8" guy who's got some stuff. He's pitched a little bit in spring training. He looks like he has some stuff and has no idea where it's going. I'm interested to see if they hone in and say, all right, look, we're just making a project of you. We're going to keep you on the roster and not ship you back here. I'm very interested to see that, especially with Jedrickson Paez being another
Rule 5
name that they're trying to keep in here.
Bring up.
Yeah,
I like what I saw.
I like the gambles here on these things. I just wonder, like you're mentioning, they made the bullpen a little crowded. So we'll see if they actually can, got the ability to hold on to these fellas or
not. Wickelman's another one too. Like a lot of these middle relief guys that have stuff, I'm excited to see. I think they could be legit pieces too. We know the guys who can bang, like Grant Taylor. Anybody else?
Jordan Lee's looked pretty good the last 2 months. Not too bad the last 2 months.
Yeah, no, I think we got guys that are legitimately excellent options, and we might have more right around the corner. So that would really help out the starting pitching development too, to have cats that could lock it up from 5 innings on.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about potentially having some real bullpen arms is like the White Sox have missed out on the bonanza that has been trading your relievers for like quality prospects coming back in return. That's happened the last few years. They just haven't had shit to deal in that situation. I wonder if they start seeing themselves as a team who can do that, who can pitch from the group, if it's as robust as it's looking, because you're right, you're getting Prelander, Baroa back, and like there's a lot of arms just hanging around here. Like, I don't think Jordan Hicks is going to be shit. I think he's probably barbecued. I think he's been salary dumped twice in 8 months, but maybe he's got a little bit left in the tank and become something too. I don't know, but like, I would love for them to be in a spot where they could start dealing off of some excess talent here and turn it into something, because this is, regardless of what you think of the farm, they still lack depth compared to, some of the really good farm systems.
Well, the pitching development has also undergone this facelift over the last 3-4 years too. So maybe we can start growing them on trees like an organization like the Padres or the Brewers or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
That would be excellent. I mean, dude, good teams do that.
Right.
If you ever want to contend, I mean, Cleveland is a great example of how they just grow these arms on trees. So yeah, I mean, as much as it seems like not our brand, it's going to have to be if we're going to be a serious organization.
I totally agree. They're going to have to do more. I mean, Shane Smith's a great example. You have to turn the Rule 5 guy into, he's probably a number 3 starter. Like that on a good team, he's probably a number 3 starter. So great. Like, you can do that, then you got something. Now you got some advantage over the rest of the group, not just, well, we'll red paper clip our good players into prospects that turn into other good players in the Han era. Like, we actually might have an advantage here, which would be nice.
I'm kind of counting on that, man. And I love reading Bannister break stuff down on Twitter too. It's just like it's so uncharacteristic of our organization to see competence in black and white like that.
So speaking of Bannister, and this is a little off target, he has said a lot of stuff about Grant Taylor that leads me to believe they don't think Grant Taylor is ever going to be a starter. Now, Optimist, do you agree that is kind of like the tea leaves there? And if that's the case, do you make him a big trade piece at some point? If he's coming out in spring training so far, it's been a fucking monster. Like, I mean, he's been real good. Like, you saw the potential last year. It didn't materialize, down the stretch. But what do you think?
Well, his last 10 appearances or whatever were fucking lights out. Yep. And listen, I don't know what's taken so long. I thought the Rays were going to do this 10 years ago. I am all for the erosion of traditional starting pitcher roles. Sorry to the old school fans. So if we have guys that can go 2-3 innings, go through a lineup once and bang, what is stopping a major league organization from stacking those guys through 9 innings instead of this mythical like 200 inning pitcher that is dying out? Why is everybody swimming against the tide in that way? So listen, I know what you're talking about in terms of his profile, his release, his extension, all that stuff, suggesting that he doesn't have a starter's profile. I am over the idea that everybody needs to fit into this starter's role, particularly with, this. You're right that the depth isn't there, but like right now in this moment, we have so many guys that maybe they are 2-3 inning kings. I love what we did with Vassell last year. I loved his role. I love that we were flirting with openers. I don't think saying that he's a reliever has to be an indictment in that way. You know what I mean? I think we can find an interesting way to morph the assets that we have into 9 innings of strong pitching.
I love that. And if they were receptive to really doing something like that, I would say keep Grant Taylor. He'll be the ultimate weapon that throws 100 innings and is a total fucking monster out there. That would be interesting to see. I'm curious to see if they flirt with anything like that, especially because that 5th starter spot is Eric Fetty. So I don't know how many bullets he's got left. Let's see how much they kind of back him up. Now, something White Sox fans are incredibly excited about is Rock Chilowski. He is hot in these White Sox Twitter streets, Optimist. I foolishly made the comment that I thought he was more like drafting Elton Brand or Larry Johnson, a.k.a. Grandmama, as the number 1 overall pick, than Shaq or LeBron. That has not gone well for me so far. Where are you at on Rock Chilowski so far as the potential number 1 pick for the White Sox?
It is a tricky analogy to thread the needle with, I will be honest with you. And I'm a huge hoops guy, so I'm like, yeah, that does kind of make sense. He's not LeBron, and the analogy there would be Bryce Harper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. A no-brainer slam dunk number 1, kind of like in that vein. Now, Brand and Larry Johnson were both pretty obvious number 1s, but they weren't oh my God, this is like the best play I've ever seen. And I had someone reply to me about this concept because they're like, I'm not sure that that's exactly right. And they mentioned like someone like Dwight Howard, maybe someone who's going to impact significantly on one side of the ball, but maybe not the other. I was like, okay, that's not bad either. I'm okay with that. But Dwight Howard was a little more like franchise changing than Elton Brand or Larry Johnson. You knew they were both really good. You're like, okay, this guy's good. I'm happy to have him number one. I don't think that guy. I would be surprised, to me, looking at it right now, if Rock was like a 7 or 8 win monster every year, 7 or 8 WAR monster every single year. But maybe
okay. So as much as I will talk hoops with you all fucking day, and I've been wanting to ever since you told me that you dunked before, which
nice
I haven't stopped seeing in my dreams since.
I was not 270 pounds when I dunked. I would just say it that way. I was close. I was about 200 when I dunked.
I have to abandon the analogy, though, to hoops because it's just too difficult. Now, let me ask you this. Number one pick that was not Bryce Harper, was not Paul Skeens, was not some franchise-altering player. Carlos Correa. Never hit 30 home runs in his career. Doesn't steal bases. Really good defender at short. The other guy I was thinking of, if Chilowski ends up being a second baseman, I don't know why he would. Maybe Billy Carlson or something. Who knows? Ian Kinsler was another guy that's like tons of MVP votes his entire career. Fantastic defender.
Yes.
And we got to think about it in the context of which he's joining this team too. Like he's not the LeBron coming in to drag a bunch of bozos to the finals. He's like the final piece to what should be like a pretty complete roster.
Right. Yes. It is a
and
different
like Carlos Correa.
situation.
I see a lot of the parallels with Carlos Correa too. When I just think of like number one picks that might not have been, what half the league was tanking for. And I think in this context, that's totally fine. If he's
Agreed.
a 25 home run, 900 OPS, that's asking a lot of a guy.
Right.
For asking a lot of a guy who's using a metal bat currently. You know what I mean? Who knows? And we have seen some cats from college look like they can be world beaters with that stick and end up being Andrew Vaughn. So
true. He also, there's a little bit of, and I'm not someone who can analyze the swing. I can't analyze any of that shit. He is a little what they call thick in the body, meaning the level of projection left, I don't think is like maybe a lot. Like I think maybe like kind of this is the body he's got, like, and it might get worse as we get on in a couple of years. So sometimes those guys who can handle it, that the body thickens up even more, and you get the problems there. I'm not saying the guys move off short or anything like that, but my thought was, I'm excited. It's very nice, but what I'm seeing out there is like, just slow down. It might not be what you think it's going to be. It's probably going to be good, but maybe not that good. Like
for what it's worth, I'm open to the idea of between now and then being the MLB draft. That's a lot of fucking time. A lot of things can happen. I had somebody DM me, be like, "Do you see a world where it's not Rock Chilowski at number one?" And I go, "Yeah, he'd get hit by a bus." Like lots can happen between now and then.
Sure.
So I'm certainly not making personalized Rock Chilowski jerseys and posting them on Twitter. That guy had me blocked, by the way. He's made one tweet and I'm already blocked. But
that's brutal.
And yeah, I know. What's that about? We'll get into that about my 108 chances too. But like
abrasive.
Yeah. No, I think I went and saw Rock. I went to UCLA last weekend or the week before. And he was just like the thickest dude out there, carried himself totally differently, like was very much a man amongst boys. Weirdly enough, and he had opportunities to make some big defensive plays in the hole, up the middle, and he made none of them. Okay. When I was there,
when you were watching,
on a 9-inning day, 9 innings, and 2 of them I was in the concession line trying to get free Chick-fil-A sandwich. So.
Good.
So I can't say that I exactly got like a professional look at him or anything like that, but yeah, he's an absolute beefcake. And I can see what you mean in terms of projection. Yeah. And really until you put a wood bat in his hands, it's all kind of off the table for me.
Right. So happy he's coming, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. Excited, but we'll wait and see. Now, one last White Sox thing I want to get to, and this is something that I know we've been excited about. I saw some tweets from you. You're pretty goddamn excited about this shit too. Is the White Sox announced they're going to have an alumni home run derby? It's going to take place in July. Who are your sentimental favorites you'd like to see in this lineup, Optimist?
I can think. I mean, White Sox Twitter is populated with absolute sickos, so there are no stones left unturned. Really, it quickly turned into a game of like one-upsmanship of who could think of a more obscure hitter to include in this thing. And I love how we're all just picking guys from like the early 2000s that ain't no fucking way they're going to get that ball over the fence.
They got to put a little shorter, like a softball fence in there from the or move home plate up to second base.
Pull out the 2019 rabbit balls. Yohan Moncada's going to be like, let me in there.
Or let them use the aluminum bats, like you mentioned with the college players. Figure it out some way, but have them smash bombs.
Ooh, I didn't even think about the aluminum bats. That would be fun. Yeah, but I mean, it's all that you said. Diane Vicieto, that was absolutely one of the first names that came to mind. One of my all-time favorite players who could still maybe do it is Carlos Quentin. He doesn't strike me as kind of like the guy that makes public appearances in his post-playing career. He's not like Todd Frazier, who I think is a lock, by the way. I was going through old baseball references, trying to find maybe a name that hadn't gotten brought up, and all it really led me to. Well, let me say this: there is one name that retired when he was still banging. I think he had 27 home runs his final year.
Okay,
this name got brought up in a conversation about guys who retired too early a couple months ago, and I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder if he could participate in this derby. Final year, retired in 2009, so a long time ago, but he went out swinging still. Jermaine Dye.
Oh, yeah.
I've not seen that name brought up. Was still hitting, when he retired. He doesn't look like Joe Creedy now. He looks like Jermaine Dye. Like he looks like he might still be able to do it.
Joe Creedy.
So
Joe Creedy been eating just like I've been eating. And
Jermaine
Dye, he couldn't move anymore, but he could still swing the stick when he retired. You're right. Like he could still hit. He just couldn't. The outfield was over for him. He just couldn't. The body was done with regards to that.
That would be fun. Don't need you shagging, just need you swinging. And I like Carlos Quentin. I like Jermaine Dye as dudes that I would like to see. Now, what I sort of uncovered was guys who had pop but would be just terrible to see again. Eloy Jimenez immediately coming to mind. But also, let's go through a few that would be hilarious if they guys that could hit a ball real far and based on how the White Sox do business could conceivably show up. But if let's see, Nomar Mazara were to grab a stick, that'd be a bummer. Zach Collins, that would be a bummer. LaRoche, that I would actually like to see.
Missionary work or what? Actually, Optimist, you're bringing up a good point here. We make a villains team and then like kind of a good guys team. You have the baby faces and you got the, and that might be a fun way to do that, actually. Bring these guys in that the fans can't stand but could still hit a home run and we're former players. That could be a lot of fun, actually.
There's some sneaky pop on the hate list, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it's still relatively young guys. Obviously, they washed out, still sell insurance or whatever the fuck. Who knows? Yeah, I love that idea. Fuck, let's do that. All right. We're gonna tell Brooks Boyer that's part of the idea now. Bring in somebody that we all hate. Bring in the hate list out of this group. A couple more things here before you go. I personally think, as I'm the game master, the one making the 108 tourney bracket right now, I personally think you out of the men that I think could win the tournament this year, I think you're on the short list. I think if I had to count 5 on my hand, you'd be one of them. Do you have anything up your sleeve in case you make the finals this year of the 108 tourney?
I mean, I'll do what I can, but I totally disagree that I'm that popular. I'm popular amongst a small contingent that ride hard for me. Hey, you see who didn't make that list of like top 50 White Sox Twitter accounts, by the way? The one
people did reply though, and we're had your back. This is what the fuck, like why is Optimist not on this? I saw several of those tweets. Okay, so
I think I just got too many ops, man. I think I got too many people that find me. There's a camp that thinks I'm insightful or funny or what the hell ever, and I think there's an equal and opposite camp that finds me obnoxious and arrogant. And I don't think so, man. We were talking about how I'm just stumbling upon accounts that have me blocked. I'm assuming because. Like once a week, I'll be in like a verbal knife fight with somebody with 18 followers. And I feel like most people's feeds are populated with me just in online fights. And maybe that's why I get blocked a lot. Yeah. But I mean, dude, last year when I posted a video of me at the speed pitch at the park, the replies on that, I've never, I haven't fielded so many homophobic slurs in my life, dog. And it was just me existing. I wasn't doing shit.
Holy shit. I did not know that. But in a way, though, you kind of need both of it, right? I think because if you have people going against you, more of your army comes then and gets involved in the thing. Not to mention, I think you have people on your Twitter that are outside of the normal White Sox Twitter. And sometimes success involves stirring that group up and getting them involved in doing the voting, because no one else will have that group of people. No one got that group on their side. It's not the White Sox Twitter group making a tough decision between you and someone else. These people don't know the other fucking person. They're just going to vote for you, and there it goes. That's how Alex Rude made a good run last year, because he said he had a lot of the U of I people in there that aren't Sox Twitter people. So it helped.
Rude dude is also universally beloved. I don't think he's got ops like I got ops. When I was thinking of cats that had real chances, like, who the hell doesn't like Alex Rude? Like, I think of guys like that. And then I think about past winners too. Like, I mean, we haven't had a guy in a while. And
it's been a while.
Yeah. Me that I'm not a pretty lady.
Yeah.
But I mean, Brian Knight's maybe got ops now, but back then I think he was pretty universal.
You're right. He got more haters as he was climbing up the hill. Yeah, I think
he did. Summer George. I mean, I think everybody loved him deep down. If anybody hated him, it was just out of pure jealousy for his lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, the swords and all that shit, and the pities, and no, he had.
Listen, I'll do my best, man. I do my best every year, and I do have some content coming down the pipeline. If you are somebody who finds John Schriffrin to be a particularly rich vein of comedy, I've got some content coming for you.
Good. All right. I think there is a big section of Sox Twitter that would like that. Let's get this drink right here from Kurt. Kurt says, I'm teaching class right now. Cheers, hey, Kurt. Appreciate you, my friend. I'm gonna have a little Guinness here. A little Guinness inside.
I'm gonna smoke a little weed. How about that?
There you go. Get in on that. We only got a couple more questions, and then I can. So what as you go down the road of the 108 tournament, I think you're going to go far. What level of sexual harassment do you expect to be out there, and how much of it will be directly from Jean-Marie?
I think it's going to be all JM. Yeah. That's the other thing too. It's like last year I dipped into the thirst trap game, as you well fucking know. Worked that JPEG out plenty.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't, that was mostly piloted by homegirl Maddie. And for reasons I will not get into, I don't think she's going to be riding for me quite like that this year. So okay. I think I'm ready to retire, taking my shirt off for the web. Definitely. I would love to be. I mean, I'll fucking do it if I have to. It comes down to the end, and that's like the deciding factor.
If you win, I need champagne, and there you go. Yeah, no, exactly right. So,
okay. Yeah, fine.
Fair enough.
Okay. I do think Jean-Marie is going to be pretty loud for me. I don't know if that's going to work in my favor or not necessarily. I'll do my best for you and for everybody.
All right, we appreciate that. One last thing. Gun to head, Optimist. How far do the Alumni make it in the NCAA tournament?
Much like my White Sox fan, I'm a patient man. I ain't worried at all, doggy. I mean, we got hit in the chops pretty bad by Michigan the other day. First time they beat us in like 9 years, whatever. But I lived during a time where Brad Underwood wasn't around, and there was a moment there. If you were an Illini basketball fan or a Chicago White Sox fan, it couldn't have gotten worse for you as just a sports engager. So I know a lot of people are bent out of shape about Illini and maybe their ceiling, but I'm saying Elite 8.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's been a minute since they've gotten that far. I think the farthest I can remember them getting was the game they played against UConn, when UConn had that monster.
Yeah, Elite 8 2 years ago, motherfucker.
That was tough. I haven't watched a lot of this Illini team. MSS fills me in here or there, but we were at a charity thing for we were doing a trivia, and we're watching on his phone. I was like, man, for as much size as these guys got, they don't block out that well in the defensive box. I was like, they're super talented, but they got a lot of talent on that squad. It looks like to me.
Front court could use an extra dose of nasty, no doubt about it.
Optimist, thanks so much for talking White Sox defense. Rock Chilowski of the Fighting Illini. Remember, we ain't trying to be right on the show. We're just trying to understand. Anything you want to plug before you go?
I guess vote for me in the 108 tournament coming up, assuming that I'm in there. Thank you very much, Beef.
Fuck yeah. Take care, Optimist. Good seeing you, my friend.
Good to see you, brother.
That was Sox Optimist. The best, man. The best. Love talking to him. Next week's guest, I've been trying to have this guy on now for like 2 months, is Chris Gonzalez. Chris Gonzalez hosted a Blackout show. He's going to come on here. We're going to talk about extending Kyle Teal and trading Edgar Carroll. We're going to talk about how the real core of the White Sox championship are a bunch of guys that are not here in Chicago just yet. So there's going to be some interesting stuff in this next discussion. Looking very forward to it. Thanks to Punky's Pizza and Pasta and all the 108 families up in the YouTube comments. Appreciate you smashing the like button, comment, and of course, drinks and tips. We'll see you on Thursday for the 108 podcast, and I love all of you.